When the Allies liberated the concentration camp of Bergen-Belsen, they found a scene which was truly horrific. As a trigger warning, I am going to be discussing some rather gruesome details. Although 70,000 people died in this camp, including Anne Frank, it was not an extermination camp. This camp was initially created to house Soviet POWs, as well as Jewish hostages that were going to be exchanged for German POWs. And while it was not an extermination camp, the conditions were still atrocious. This is a rather disturbing picture, and it shows the majority of the concentration camps. Of course, not all of them are on this map, but a good majority of them are, and you can see Bergen-Belsen there up in the top. During the end of the war, many of the camps in the east began transporting the prisoners to other concentration camps, such as Bergen-Belsen. This concentration camp was not equipped to handle the influx of people. To paint a picture, in July of 1944, there were about 7,300 prisoners in this camp, and by the end of the war, there's about 60,000. Due to this overcrowding, and combined with the poor sanitation, the lack of suitable water, diseases such as typhoid, tuberculosis broke out, and many people died within the camp. It's estimated that within the first few months of 1945, that about 35,000 people alone died. When the Allies were able to liberate the camp, they found about 60,000 people who were in critical condition. Many of them were starving, many of them were diseased, and they're surrounded by the corpses of about 13,000 bodies. I'm going to read verbatim here from Richard Dembleby, who attended the camp, and he says, "Here, over an acre of ground, lay dead and dying people. You could not see which was which. The living lay with their heads against the corpses, and around them moved the awful, ghostly procession of emaciated, aimless people, with nothing to do and with no hope of life. Unable to move out of your way, unable to look at the terrible sights around them. Babies had been born here, tiny wizened things that could not live. A mother, driven mad, screamed at a British sentry to give her milk for her child, and thrust the tiny mite into his arms, then ran off, crying terribly. He opened the bundle and found the baby had been dead for days. This day at Belsen was the most horrible of my life." After the camp was liberated, many revenge killings occurred, especially in the satellite camps around Bergen-Belsen, where some of the prisoners were in better conditions. They turned on the capitals, killing about 170 of them. This is a photo of them burning down the final hut, and the camp was then changed into a dispersed persons camp. And while there is a great humanitarian and military aid effort to help the survivors of the camp, about 13,000 died afterwards due to disease or to starvation or to a variety of other complications. The Allies forced the former guards to deal with the corpses while not allowing them any protective gear such as gloves or anything like that. They gave them starvation rations, and they continually shouted at them to keep working. Because they're dealing with these diseased corpses, the SS guards ended up catching the disease themselves, where 17 of them succumbed to the disease, 1 committed suicide, and 3 others were killed when they tried to escape. About 70,000 people died in this camp, with about 20,000 of them being Soviet prisoners of war. The other 50,000 were Jews, Czechs, Poles, anti-Nazi Christians, homosexuals, and even French resistance members. One such man was Josef Kapek. I apologize if I pronounced his name wrong, but he coined the term robot. There are other photos that I think are important for people to see, but with the rules on TikTok that would be flagged, I do encourage you to go online and look at the photos. Some of them are very difficult to review and digest, but it is important for us to remember so that this never happens again.